This is the ACC on ESPN. College basketball on a Saturday night. It's the number 8 Arizona Wildcats and their undefeated 6-0 record taking on the 5-2 Clemson Tigers from Littlejohn Coliseum in Clemson, South Carolina. Alongside Jimmy Dykes, I'm Rich Hollenberg, bringing you the action from South Carolina. Good road test for the undefeated Arizona Wildcats. A good blend of veterans and youth in their starting lineup, all talented. Nick Johnson, Mark Lyons in the backcourt. Solomon Hill making his 101st career start. And then two freshman standouts, Caleb Tarzewski and Brandon Ashley. And for the Clemson Tigers, Rod Hall, excellent assist-to-turnover ratio. Harrison starts now that TJ Sapp, the starting guard, has departed. He is transferring out of the program. KJ McDaniels, Milton Jennings back from a 2-game suspension, and their starter at center, Devin Booker. There's a look at Sean Miller. 2 Elite 8 appearances, last 5 years, most recently with Arizona 2 years ago, also with Xavier in 2008. He has his Wildcats preseason #1 in the Pac-12. And Brad Brownell in his 3rd year with the Tigers had stops at UNC Wilmington and Wright State before that. Led Clemson to their first win in the NCAA's tournament 2 years ago, first time in 14 years. We're set to tip it up. Arizona in their road red, going left to right on your TV screen, controls the opening tip.
Clemson, a club that absolutely will fight you and climb into your jersey on this end of the floor. One of the better defensive clubs, not only in the ACC, but in college ball.
Nice feed down low, but it's blocked. Something KJ McDaniels does with aplomb.
Arizona's not too shabby on this end as well. Sean Miller's packed defense. Hard pressure on the ball, and other 4 guys in gaps.
Down low, here's Booker. Daniels likes to shoot the 3. At 7 on the shot clock, Hall's gonna have to reset. Here's McDaniels from distance. Off the mark, Tarzewski's first rebound of the night.
Boy, good opening defensive possession by Arizona. Just took everything away that Clemson wanted to do.
Lyons thought about using the screen. Ashley, top of the key. And it drops in, first 3 of the game.
And his first 3-point make of the year by Brandon Ashley. Kid has a knack, though, to get the ball in the basket.
Part of that number 3 recruiting class that Sean Miller's brought in this year.
We'll see a lot of ball screen action out of Clemson. The ball screen guards, Hall, a kid up top, does not turn it over.
Marcus Harrison, now a starter with the departure of TJ Sapp. Booker on the low block. The jump hook is good. First 2 of the game.
Rich didn't hesitate. Tarzewski was standing straight up with his legs locked, and Booker went right at him.
Here's number 2 in red, Lyons, the transfer from Xavier. And it looks like Ray Stiles is saying he had his foot on the end line. It's going to go over to the Clemson Tigers. Harrison checked by Johnson.
Arizona's going to have to be very disciplined with their defensive possessions to stay down in the stands for, 25, 30 seconds. A lot of late clock shots out of these guys in white.
Short on the jumper is McDaniels. Here come the Cats. Number 44, Solomon Hill, preseason Wooden Award nominee. Nice take to the hole. The tip no good. And Clemson comes away with
it. Arizona's so good at their transition defense because the numbers were in Clemson's favor for about a count of 3 or 4 seconds, and Arizona still shut it off.
And there's Les Jones calling the first foul on Solomon Hill. We're in Clemson, South Carolina. And the Clemson Tigers have welcomed in the undefeated 8th-ranked Arizona Wildcats alongside Jimmy Dykes. I'm Rich Hollenberg. A real true road test for the undefeated Wildcats.
Yeah, their first test of the year. And Arizona has a lot of things that you like that says they're built to go deep in March, and one of them is a kid that just scored, making the transition to the point guard this year. Not only does he change uniforms, he changes positions. Very, very difficult to do.
Sean loves his toughness. Sean Miller, the head coach for Arizona, loves his toughness, loves the fact that he has a shot creator on the floor, too.
Well, that's Clemson's shot creator, McDaniels. That's one thing they don't really have, is a guy who just go get a basket. Against Arizona, Rich, you have to have it. They are very good at that end.
And another foul on the floor. And Jimmy, your one-on-one is really a 2-on-2.
Well, it is, because those Arizona freshmen, Ashley and Tarczewski, are terrific. Both of them have the potential to be future pros someday. Booker and Jennings are seniors, though. So if the guys on top are young, the guys at the bottom are old. How does that play out in this ball game?
It's Hall. Excellent assist-to-turnover ratio coming in, but he's got 1 turnover tonight already.
Yeah, he had a bad angle to try to attack the rim on that baseline drive.
4 minutes in. And it's a 5-2 Arizona lead, but another Wildcats turnover will give the Tigers the ball and a chance to tie it with a 3 when we return. This is the ACC on ESPN. We have 15:58 to go from inside Littlejohn Coliseum. And the Clemson Tigers on their home floor trailing in the early going, the Arizona Wildcats, 5-2. Courtside alongside Jimmy Dykes, I'm Rich Hollenberg. And Jimmy, you call this a perception game for the undefeated 8th-ranked Wildcats. Why is that?
Well, I think they're really good, first of all. They're averaging 82 points a ball game, making 9 threes, about 42%. They have size to be dominant defensively. A couple of future pros, but, you know, the Pac-12's been jacked around a little bit the last 2 years. It got jacked around again today. Colorado got hit in the nose at Kansas. So can Arizona, who I think is the best team in the Pac-12, go on the road and win against Clemson, who I think is probably a middle-of-the-pack type team out of the ACC. This is a perception game, not only for Arizona, but the entire Pac-12.
And one of the good things for Clemson, as they have a solid defensive club to try to check one of the highest scoring teams in the nation, is Milton Jennings is back from a 2-game suspension.
Well, that's a big lift. This is a kid that, you know, the offense looks different when he's on the floor and when he's not on the floor. And he's a legit stretch forward that can get in the pick and pop on-ball action that Brad Brownell likes to run. And Milton Jennings needs to be hard to guard in this game.
Jennings averaging double digits. It's a rare feat for these Clemson Tigers, who, if they have a major struggling point, it's scoring the basketball.
That's it. Their top guys average 11. Brad Brownell over the years for Clemson has been a motion offense guy, but he has on-ball screening action guards, so that's what he goes to this year.
First 3 of the game for Jennings off the mark. And the rebound to Solomon Hill. Lions checked by the freshman Adonis Filer, who's checked in. Leaves it for Tarczewski. And Trzewski's fouled and will go to the line.
A good box touch by Arizona. And Mark Lyons was very good to read and react and not predetermine what he wanted to do with that ball when he came off the on-ball action.
Caleb Tarczewski, a 7-footer from Claremont, New Hampshire. Truly one of the few back-to-the-basket big men coming out of high school these days. He was the number 3 center, rated by ESPN 100, number 4 overall player. A lot of people had him pegged, Jimmy, to be going to Kansas, but he turned it around. I believe it was on Halloween last year that he committed to Sean Miller and the Wildcats.
Well, what I love about Tarczewski is he's got a mean streak in him. And they don't look like that very often as a true freshman. He's 7 feet tall. He's got a big frame about him. And right now, Sean Miller is trying to, you know, work himself as a coach. How do I get this guy more touches? The first true post that Sean Miller's had at Arizona. So it's a work in progress for the coach as well.
Misses both free throw attempts. It remains a 5-2 ball game. Jennings got it inside. Booker likes that shot and nails it. 4 points for Devin Booker.
Tarczewski has to know that Booker likes that shot. He came out with his hands down And you have to have hand pressure on a 15-foot shooter like Booker.
There's Kevin Parham, who's checked into the game, a real super sub for Sean Miller. Lyons from distance. Mark Lyons has 5.
Rich, once he gets it up, he becomes a shooting guard, which is what he is. And you have to defend him just like that. You do not help off of Mark Lyons.
Largest lead in the early going with 14.5 minutes to go in the first half. Harrison short in the lane. And Grant Jarrett, another stud freshman, with the rebound.
Clemson so concerned with getting back on defense. No activity on the offensive glass.
Good hands by Harrison. And Brownell's going to sub in number 20, Jordan Roper, another young player, left-handed freshman out of Columbia, South Carolina. Clemson, much like Arizona, one commonality they have, a good mix of veterans and youth. Lyons, same spot, different result this time, but fresh 35 with the Hill offensive board. Hill with the left hand, blocked by Booker. Hill, stick-to-itiveness.
Solomon Hill just wore Clemson out on that possession. First of all, as an offensive rebounder, then the toughness and the grit to not let a block shot get his dauber down. Very well done by Solomon Hill.
6-point advantage, the largest of the game for the Cats.
Can Clemson score enough to stay in this game? That has been the question for 3 days preparing for it.
Another empty possession for the Tigers. Lyons, the lob inside, Tarczewski surrounded by Tigers but gets it to go.
Boy, another true box touch by Tarczewski. In order for them to make a deep run in March, that's where Arizona needs to show improvement. You know what? They have so far.
We're going to take a quick timeout. 30 seconds, step aside with 13-12 to go. Arizona 12-4. 13-12 to go. ACC basketball on ESPN. Arizona, their largest lead of the game, 12-4 over Clemson. Why is this such an important play for the Wildcats?
Well, Tarczewski, first of all, is a hoss, and there's no pressure on the pass. I mean, look at that. That's just wide open vision right there. Tarczewski walks his guy up and does a good job of getting his feet underneath his shoulders. Bam, right there before he goes up. Doesn't jump with his legs spread, gets into power position. Well done.
Here's Booker. We're going to get a foul on Angelo Chol, who's seen his minutes really decline with the advancing of the freshmen that have come in.
You know, I did Arizona at Florida last year, and when they walked in the building this afternoon, they look completely different, mainly because of the size that Sean Miller now can put on the floor. I mean, they got the pieces now. They've got 2 deep at every spot. Like I said, they got 3 or 4 future pros. All the things you look for, this club in red has.
What their sports information director, Richard Page, tell us this year, they're 3 inches taller on average, 20 inches heavier on average.
20 pounds heavier at every position. 3 inches taller, 20 pounds heavier.
Block again by McDaniels. That's his second of the night.
Now, Solomon Hill, though, is having success driving that ball right through the gut and the heart of Clemson's defense. Now, McDaniels has been the center racer so far a couple of times, but that is a huge concern if I'm Brad Brownell.
One of Sean Miller's seniors, Kevin Parham, number 3, inbounds. Here's Parham. Off the bounce, no good. Gets his own rebound.
Well, so far, Arizona just tougher.
First foul on Devin Booker with 12:25 to go in the half. You talk about a different look to the Arizona Wildcats, this is why.
Well, all 3 of those guys were in the Jordan Brand All-American game last year and just really jumped out at me the 3 or 4 days I hung out with them. Very coachable, terrific talents, but they're low-maintenance guys. All the things that Sean Miller talked about, he is absolutely dead on in his evaluation of those 3.
Backup point guard Jordan Mays, number 20, handling the point duties right now.
You know, Clemson's first shot defense hasn't been that bad. It's their second shot defense right now that has them in a world of hurt.
Nick Johnson lost control. And there's 10 on the shot clock. Johnson pulls up with a hand in his face and banks a three home.
Boy, that is a punch to the gut if you're Clemson. You did everything just like you draw it up, and Johnson banks one on you.
Johnson, the sophomore out of Arizona, has now added to a 10-0 Wildcats run.
Well, everything's on the perimeter for Clemson. They've got to drive that ball.
It's Filer. And Nick Johnson draws a foul. It's going to go on Scholl. And the bank was open on this one. 11:29 to go. 11-point lead for the Cats. Jimmy Dykes, Rich Hollenberg from Littlejohn Coliseum. Arizona's opened up a 15-4 lead over the Clemson Tigers with 11:29 to go. Somewhere in that, well, you see him urging his team on right there despite being up 11. That's Sean Miller. And would you know, Jimmy, it's 25 years since one of the most indelible moments on ESPN's air in college basketball history. The date was January 25th, 1988. And wouldn't you know, Jerome would never have been able to send it in were it not for his point guard, Sean Miller, assisting on that backboard break.
Well, and Sean Miller was a terrific point guard. So, you know, he brings Mark Lyons in as a transfer for his senior year and converting him from an off guard to a point guard. And I think that's going to determine how far Arizona goes in March. The development at Lyons at the point guard spot and Tarczewski around the rim. All the other pieces, I think, are in place. I trust all the other pieces, but those two spots will determine how deep Arizona can go.
Number 3, Adonis Filer at the line, a freshman out of Chicago. Spent a year at Notre Dame Prep. And he's one of the major reasons why TJ Sapp decided his time was up here at Clemson. His playing time was getting minimized because the freshman Filer was coming off the bench and getting starters minutes.
But think about it. TJ Sapp was starting every ball game as a sophomore. TJ Sapp was 4 out of 18 from the three-point line, 22%. So to me, instead of fighting back and bowing up, he decides to transfer, and Clemson now has to overcome it.
Tarczewski misses on the low block. Booker with the rebound. Arizona 5th in the nation in field goal percentage, shooting it very well tonight despite that miss.
See, Clemson not getting anything done off the perimeter passing in their on-ball action. They're going to have to attack gaps and bring the officials into this ball game to try to crawl back in it, and Brad Brownell knows it.
His first foul on the senior Lions.
You know, can Lions defend a point? Is something I don't think has been talked about enough. We've talked about his conversion to running the offense. Can he defend a point? He will give up some straight line drives.
Devin Booker's been the lone source of offense for the Tigers. He grabs an offensive board and gives him a fresh shot clock. All lost the handle. Goes up against Tarczewski, had to alter a shot. And Arizona comes away with it. That's what you get when you have a true 7-footer. Get a foul on the floor. It's going to be on the freshman Roper, his first foul, and it's the 3rd team foul for the Tigers.
You look at Arizona's 5 guys on the floor right now. Who do you not have to guard? I'll answer it for you. Nobody. You have to honest guard all 5 spots. That's why they're one of the highest scoring teams in the country. So any of their action that gets 2-on-1 is a real problem, and they do a good job of getting into it.
Another block by Clemson. This time it was credited to Devin Booker. Johnson gets it in the lane. A high percentage shot for Nick Johnson. He's got 5.
When you ask right now, where does Clemson go with the ball? It should be Booker. I like him around the block more than I like him taking, one pass, fall away 16-footers right now. That's not a sign of strength. That's not how you fight your way back into a ball game.
And mass substitutions for Brad Brownell. Jennings, Harrison, McDaniel, and number 33, Josh Smith, a freshman out of Charlotte, all check in.
No red.
Talk about where's the offense coming from. Now Booker's on the bench.
It should be Milton Jennings now. KJ McDaniels is a slasher as well.
Here's Jennings. Got tied up by Hill. It's going to be Clemson basketball.
You know, Booker has the strength to make traffic plays. Milton Jennings does not. Milton Jennings that time got himself into a traffic play. Milton Jennings has very narrow hips, this kid with the ball up top. You have narrow hips at 6'10", you struggle in traffic plays, and he does.
McDaniels alone for three, knocks it down.
Arizona is so good, I think, at defending the three normally because they're a pack mentality. So therefore, they're not helping one way and recovering the shooters another. They're a one-way help team.
Lions, do they allow the basket? Yes, they do. Counted and
maybe as much as anything, Arizona needs the grit and the determination that Mark Lyons brings to this club and the toughness level. They weren't the toughest team that I saw last year because they lacked a guy like Mark Lyons that is just he's a warrior, he's a battler. Now, I think that's the strength of this game. It's not his ball handling, his shooting, his ability. It's how he thinks the game. So important and contagious to Arizona.
He has 6 points in the early going. Was 0 for 7 from the field against Southern Miss, so a good start for the Xavier transfer. Roper had it knocked away when Smith tried to get the entry pass.
Yeah, that is a bad pass and a bad effort to catch a post pass.
Left hand no good. Jennings comes away with it. And another bad pass by Clemson. All alone Lions with a two-hand stuff.
Boy, and that is all on Milton Jennings, a 6'10" guy, bringing it 100 miles an hour, trying to make a pass that only the best point guard in college ball could make. Arizona on the verge of delivering a blowout punch early. That's what I'm talking about. Milton Jennings, you got to know who you are and what you're capable of and not capable of. He's 6'10", he's trying to throw it back to an Arizona defense that was set and waiting on it.
Some of the best teams in the country highlight ESPN's doubleheader next Saturday. First, the Mountaineers go for the upset against the Wolverines in their high-powered offense in the Brooklyn Hoops Winter Festival. Then at 10, a non-conference battle when the Gators of Florida take on these same Wildcats in a rematch of last season's overtime thriller. Holiday Hoops presented by Kay Jewelers, West Virginia, Michigan at 8, Florida, Arizona at 10 next Saturday on ESPN and also live on Watch ESPN.
A couple of things. Michigan was made to work today by the Arkansas Razorbacks at Michigan. Florida, to me, has played harder consistently than anybody else in college ball into the first week of December. And Arizona has maybe as much talent as anybody in college ball. So far, the perception, they have passed.
And we watched West Virginia with a 1-point win over the previously undefeated Hokies earlier today. Ball's kicked out of bounds, going to stay Clemson basketball. 8:31 to go. Jimmy Dykes, Rich Hollenberg, Little John Coliseum. It's been an offensive struggle to say the least for the Clemson Tigers. 22-8, they trail on their home floor. Jennings for three, knocks it down.
You know, that's a nice play because when you're struggling to score in the half court, you have to take advantage of every baseline out-of-bounds play that you have to get points. Good call by Brownell. Nice shot by Jennings.
They've struggled from distance the last 3 games. So that might be a good sign for the Tiger faithful.
Jennings didn't even think of dribbling the ball that time. Lesson learned. Well, Booker has to post up like he wants it.
McDaniels, no. The tip follow is good by Devin Booker. He has 6.
Rich, that's when he's at his best. When he plays like his older brother played, that's when that big cat is at his best.
And that gets a rise out of the Tiger crowd. Booker on the blocks against the freshman. Turnaround left hand, no good. And it's going to be Arizona basketball. 22-13, Arizona leads with 7:22 to go. Normally we tell everybody to think outside the box. Why is Jimmy Dykes inside the box? We'll tell you when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Arizona leads Clemson 22-13, back courtside with Jimmy Dykes. I'm Rich Hollenberg. We went to break and we saw weights around the low post area. No truth to the rumor you had just finished your workout. What were the weights doing on the floor?
You know what, I saw a summer workout earlier with a strength coach, and he's driving home the point about this is the power part of the floor, and he had his guys, you know, lifting weights for 4 or 5 minutes, and they'd get inside the box, and he was driving home the point that the ultimate sign of strength in basketball is scoring in the box. And there's Caleb Tarczewski. They've had 23 possessions so far, Arizona, in this game. 11 times they've gotten the ball to that part of the floor. That's the ultimate sign of strength. You're sending a message. You're taking the crowd out of the game. You're delivering blows around the rim. You're getting fouled. You're getting to the free throw stripe, getting your defense set. There's no better way to win games than to get the ball right there. That is a sign of strength, and Arizona has done a nice job of it so far.
7 minutes left in the first half. Jump ball, and Booker comes away with it for the Tigers.
Now, does Clemson have that strength built into their offense to hammer that thing inside?
Roper, jumper too hard. Lions the rebound.
Well, they are taking a lot of 23, 24% shots, tough twos.
Here's Hill for three, long. Jarrett the rebound. And no sooner do we talk about how important it is for them to get that inside presence, and we see a couple of ill-advised three-pointers from the Cats.
Well, they can really shoot the ball, Arizona can, and then they're a free-flowing system. If they have quick look, Sean Miller doesn't mind it. But I was very intrigued by what he told me last night, that, you know, he's learning himself the best way to get those power touches for Jarrett and Tarczewski. And Sean Miller has not had that guy at Arizona, so part of that is on the young guys to understand it, and part of that is on Sean Miller and his staff to get the offense designed to use their size around the rim.
And to the freshmen's credit, Tarczewski and Jarrett, all the coaching staff at Arizona saying they are preternaturally mature about handling this, about being patient with getting touches, and they know that it's going to come as the season progresses.
Yep, I think they're trusting the offense, but both those guys need to demand the basketball and not just post up because the coach says to post up. Post up because you want the ball.
Booker wants the ball. Spins. Can't get it to go, but he will go to the line and shoot two.
What I like about Booker there, Rich, he didn't pass too quickly. And you watch this kid on film, I think he gives up the ball too quickly at times with that back to the basket touch.
Stay tuned, coming up after our game, battle of top 25 teams, Illinois and Gonzaga.
Boy, power ball game. I love Illinois. I had them in Maui, watched them practice a couple of times. They lead the nation and made threes per game and over 10 per ball game. Gonzaga, to me, if Gonzaga gets a little bit more of a mean streak about them, they're as good as anyone out there.
I got to see them up close and personal against this Clemson ball club in the Old Spice Classic, and Clemson put the clamps on them like almost nobody has so far this season.
Held them to 23 points in the first half.
Booker can't convert. Stays 24-13, coming up on 6 minutes to go in the half. Jarrett, in and out. Harrison. All on the baseline. No good. Rebound, Ashley.
Boy, just can't make a shot. Brownell calls out a set play and gets hauled to the rim and just a miss.
Another three off the mark for the Wildcats. Here's McDaniels with the left hand.
A really good cover-up by McDaniels once he got inside the teeth of the defense. Did a good job with a tight tuck and the big, long left release.
Blocked by Booker, his second block of the game.
It was a real lazy shot by Ashley.
Nice extra pass. And it's in. DeMarcus Harrison's first two of the game comes in transition. Well, Jimmy Dykes, the lead was 14. Now it's down to 7. How have they done it?
Well, they haven't been offensive sensitive because their offense is not going at all, but they have continued to defend their tail off on the other end, and their second shot defense has been much better. So what has that done for them? It's allowed Clemson to get out and run a little bit and score before Arizona can get their lockdown defense set. Boy, you love the fight and the grit and the determination that Brad's kids have shown so far, because I'm telling you, they were on the ropes 3 or 4 minutes ago.
9-2 Clemson Tiger run has brought the crowd back in it with 4:44 to go. It's 24-17, Arizona with the lead. And Jimmy, when you talk about Arizona getting a lead and keeping a lead, one of the problems for Clemson is they don't score enough points when they get down big to come back. They're one of the teams with the lowest possessions per 40 minutes.
Now there it is, only 4 teams in the country right now are playing a slower paced ball game. But you're not going to get Clemson out of their personality. That's who they are. They are not a run and gun team. You're not going to get it out of them. They will continue to just grind away into this lead.
Jarrett short on the 3.
And they're fine. They're down 7 and they can't score. But the defense has kept them in it.
Booker. McDaniel with a hand in his face. Might have gotten a piece of that. Johnson on the leak out. Misses the layup. Knocked away by Mays out of bounds. It stays Clemson basketball.
That was big time effort by McDaniel. I mean, he missed the shot, and instead of staring at the miss, he got in sprint mode and erased what was going to be an automatic 2.
2 seniors check back in for Sean Miller to try to settle the ship a little bit. Lyons and Hill, along with Angelo Chol.
I know, if I'm Clemson, I go right at Tarczewski. And Booker's a senior.
Knocked away by Johnson. The follow slam. Mark Lyons, first player in double figures, and the lead is back up to 9.
Boy, Hall is sloppy with that ball tonight. For a kid coming in with a 3-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio, his eyes have told Arizona exactly where he's going with the ball a couple times.
Harrison, and they're going to get the foul on Chol. So DeMarcus Harrison will go to the line and shoot 2.
Watch Rod Hall. I mean, he just stares the guy down. You don't see Johnny Manziel, who might win the Heisman Trophy tonight, do that this year. No, look guys off. Fake the pass to make the pass.
Thank you, Chris. We have a 9-point Arizona advantage over the Clemson Tigers, 26-17 with 3:36 to go. DeMarcus Harrison at the line, looking to cut into that advantage. Can't hit the first. Harrison, a BYU transfer, was supposed to go on his Mormon mission. It got delayed. BYU had given up their scholarship spot, so he ends up with Brad Brownell's club.
Just for a year, and he'll take that Mormon mission next year.
In the corner, in and out. Tarczewski offensive rebound. Goes up strong, no whistle. Again, got it stripped. Well, the officials are letting him play, Jimmy.
Boy, I love the fight, though, out of Tarczewski. I tell you what, you look around college ball right now. Alex Lynn at Maryland. Alex Kirk in New Mexico. Plumlee at Duke. Zeller at Indiana. Olenek and Dower at Gonzaga. Patrick Young at Florida, those guys in conference play are going they will win a ton of ball games because they can control that part of the floor on the road. It is a must.
Booker, high post. Here's the freshman Filer slicing into the lane off the backboard.
You know, Filer could be an important guy in this game because he's got some grit to him. He's not afraid to go make a play.
Parzewski muscles his way in, jump hook short. Here comes Filer. Strong to the hole, they're going to get a block on the Wildcats.
What I'm talking about with Adonis Filer, first of all, he owns his spot. He's got the ball and he owns his spot because Nick Johnson came out to take him on, but he owned where he was, his own real estate. And he just has a competitiveness about him that I think Brad Brownell will go to in this game.
Only a 65% free throw shooter is Filer. He knocks that one down. All 7 of his points in the South Carolina win last week came from the free throw line.
If you demand it every day, you get it every day. And Brad Brownell demands defense, and his offense has completely sputtered. But they're only down 4 because they're locking in on this end against a potent offensive team.
Knocked away. And they trade turnovers. That was a golden opportunity for Clemson.
And Booker should know. I mean, he's a post guy. He should know what a good angle and what a bad angle is at feeding the post. It's one thing if the guy has duck move and blown up the defender's legs, but they have not.
You saw him point to himself saying, my bad, saying exactly that. Lyons in the lane, no good. And Noko comes away with it.
That's the guy. I mean, I'm telling you, what I like about Filer, he's taking the ball where he wants to take it, when he wants to take it.
Hill had it stripped by Noko. Harrison knocked away out of bounds, goes back to Arizona. Well, this is definitely Arizona's pace, but neither team has the advantage right now, Jim.
Both coaches right now, the next time out, need to break out a picture of their family and say, listen, next to my family, the basketball is the most important thing in my life, and you better start taking care of it.
Clemson only averaging 9.2 turnovers a game, so this is uncharacteristic for the Clemson Tigers.
Parzewski had his guy buried, didn't he?
Hill tried to swing it to the freshman, but it went out of bounds. 6 turnovers for the Wildcats, who averaged just a shade under 16 a game this season.
You mentioned they come in off of a 27 turnover performance, Arizona. Another thing that you look at, for me, you can't make a Final Four run if you end up with more turnovers than assists. There's only been 2 teams the last 10 years that have done it. And Arizona has been a little loose with that ball at times on film.
Under a minute to go. 4-point ball game.
That should be a throwback and make a play by Booker.
Booker kicks it out to McDaniels. Harum tried to draw the charge. Harrison rises up, too hard. The follow slam by McDaniels. Shot clock is off.
Clemson better get on the boards now.
Ashley goes up strong. He's fouled and will go to the line.
And that is so good. Closing out a half by Arizona. The power of the ball to the strength part of the floor. And what's the last shot by McDaniels? going to come in and clean it up. He used to flat out rim run from the perimeter. No one sees him, no one gets body on, and you allow a kid that can jump as high as he has to go make a play.
Ashley knocks down the first free throw. We talked about it before the game, Jimmy. We were saying before we came on the air, if there's going to be a SportsCenter top 10 highlight in this game,
he will be it.
It'll come from KJ McDaniels.
So what did Arizona do just there to close out the half? Man, they were patient under pressure. Chaos didn't get to them, and they got the ball right underneath the rim. That's how Kentucky and Kansas got to that championship game last year. They could do it when they wanted to and when they had to. The great teams can get it done.
8.2 left. What does Brad Brownell dial up for one more shot?
He's got Booker on the floor, so he has time for a low post touch. Booker's kind of a slow developing guy, though. You know, I like McDaniels, his ability to drive the ball and make a play. Can they get him the ball to let him make that play?
Here's Hall. 2 seconds left. Johnson steals it. And an empty possession to end the half for Brad Brownell's club, but they've made it interesting to say the least. They were down double digits, but they've cut that lead to 4. Arizona only 6 points in the last 8 minutes and 54 seconds of the half. Clemson ends on an 11-4 run, and we've got a 4-point ball game, 28-24. You are watching the ACC on ESPN, just about set to tip off the second half between the 8th-ranked Arizona Wildcats and the Clemson Tigers. What was a 14-point lead for the Cats has been trimmed to 4 by the Tigers. Back at courtside Littlejohn Coliseum alongside Jimmy Dykes, I'm Rich Hollenberg. The headline of this game for you was, is number 8th-ranked Arizona for real? Are they legit? What have we learned so far?
Well, we've learned that they can play a different style than they want to play and hang in a ball game, because this is a slugfest right now, and Arizona has not backed away. Both clubs, I think, have really defended. Now, the offense has been something to desire a little bit. I'm sure coaches have talked about it, but for Arizona, the difference in the ball game is Mark Lyon. He's not a true point guard, but he gives them a presence that you have to have on the road. A kid that will compete and fight and have toughness, something that Arizona didn't have last year. And that's what he brings. That's the most important thing that he brings to this Arizona team, is his presence and his leadership. The only guy on the game right now in double figures, and the only guy to make over half of his shots so far.
And when you look at a couple of the stat lines, these are the 2 key point scorers for the teams, but not a lot of points on the board. For an Arizona team averaging close to 82 a game, they only managed 28 in the first half against the Tigers. Arizona starts off on defense. Clemson left to right on your TV screen in their home whites. It's out of bounds. It stays Tigers basketball. 19:45 on the clock. On the shot clock for Clemson. Here's Hall, drives left, right hand, no good! And a follow slam by KJ McDaniel to start the second.
He's the best athlete on the floor. Absolutely has more pop than anybody else. This kid with the ball's got some pop too.
Johnson answers with a 3, his second three-pointer of the game, and he has 8.
Well, you can't let him rhythm dribble and bounce into his shot when he's at his best.
Jennings loses the ball out of bounds, and it goes to the Wildcats.
Yeah, Jennings not tough enough to finish off the drive. Watch McDaniels again comes in. He did one with his right hand in the first half, now with his left paw in the second half. Clemson has done a better job of getting on the offensive glass after that first 6 or 7 minutes when they weren't getting anything done in that area.
8 Clemson turnovers. It's a 5-point Arizona lead.
Half of Arizona's possessions, Rich, in the first half, the ball ended up on the block. That's a great percentage. They're just not converting once they get it there.
Hill's been quiet. That's only his 4th point. It is 101st start, tying him for 10th all-time in Arizona history. Filer starts off strong with the left hand off the window.
And it's all designed, though, by Booker walking his guy up the lane. There's an assist by Booker because of the screen that he set.
And there's a whistle on the floor. First foul on Rod Hall. And Sean Miller's first substitution of the second half. Johnson will take a seat on the bench. And Kevin Parham, number 3 in red, the 6'6" senior out of the Bronx, checks in. There's Hill. Step back, short on the jumper. Filer swatted out of bounds by Hill.
Well, Filer, this is what he's going to do this second half. And Hill's a guy that he kind of fixes the problem. He and Kevin Parham both kind of share that role as upperclassmen on this team. The problem right now is Filer's ability to beat you off the bounce.
Speaking of off the bounce, Rod Hall can't get it to go.
Hall is playing too fast. He's playing too fast as a passer, and he's playing too fast as a driver. His misses are tied to the momentum that he's carrying to the rim.
There's Tarzewski, his first touch of the second half. Hill for 3. Too hard. Filer up ahead. Jennings on the leak out.
See, that's on Mark Lyons, and again, Mark Lyons has been a combo 2 guard his entire life, so he doesn't always think like a point guard defensively.
Lyons, the tip in, Tarzewski.
It is so good by Lyons. Get that ball up on the rim and allow the length of Arizona to take over in this game.
Blocked by Ashley. Both teams attacking the rim early. Here's Hill. Had it taken away by Jennings. Transition 3, McDaniel short. Sense the game getting a little helter-skelter here, Jimmy.
Well, and the shot quality to start the second half has not been high on the 1 to 10 scale, and the quality of shot you get versus the quality of shot you're giving up always determines the outcome of a ball game.
Hall's going to inbounds under their own basket. Senior bodies up the freshman off the window, and it's good.
Yeah, very unusual, because again, he doesn't have great hip strength or hip width, so contact normally knocks Jennings off of his path.
We have a 1-possession ball game. We're going to get Jennings on the foul at the other end of the floor. That's Milt Jennings' 3rd foul. Going to have to keep an eye on that.
Well, he's got to come out. He's probably the most important offensive guy that Brad Brownell has. So this is a big hit for a 4 or 5 minute stretch. And that's been Clemson's problem all game long. Can they score enough points? And now one of their guys is going to sit and watch.
Unless Jones says it goes out of bounds, it's going to be Clemson basketball.
Only UCLA in 2006 and Louisville last year made it to the Final Four the last 10 years with more turnovers than assists. That concerns me about Arizona as I watch him play.
Pass at the knees of the big man. Here comes Filer. No call. Basket and the bucket. The foul goes, and a 3-point play coming up for Adonis Filer.
This is a ball game that you put your most competitive guys on the floor. Filer is Clemson's most competitive guy. Defender's dragging that right foot over. That's a good call, and boy, Filer, yeah, the defense is not set at all. Filer is an athlete. I mean, this is a kid that, boy, he absorbs contact and he looks for contact and plays through it really well.
Converts the 3-point play, and we are tied at Littlejohn. Sean Miller wants to settle his troops, but the Littlejohn crowd in full throat. His team tied with Arizona 35 all. Alongside Jimmy Dykes, I'm Rich Hollenberg. We have a tie ball game with 16-13 to go. Number 8, Arizona in trouble at Littlejohn, and we have a couple of SportsCenter top 10 possibilities. Jimmy Dykes, courtesy of KJ McDaniels.
Well, KJ McDaniels now is part of the reason why Clemson has 10 offensive rebounds. And again, he's a kid that can jump as high as he needs to. And that's rare at the college level. Arizona is in a fist fight right now in Littlejohn. You would love to go inside right now on the road and throw a gut punch.
Jarrett tries that off the iron. Hill comes away with it. It's going to go out of bounds, stay Arizona basketball. We have a media timeout, 15:43 to go. Johnny Manziel has won the Heisman Trophy. If this young man comes back next year to Clemson, we might be saying the same about him. Stay tuned. We have a good one from Littlejohn Coliseum in Clemson, South Carolina. Number 8, Arizona, and Clemson tied at 35. This, of course, a big basketball school, but it's a big football school, too. And Taj Boyd, the Clemson quarterback for the 2012 season, for over 3,500 yards, 34 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Certainly Heisman-like numbers. And on the eve of the Heisman Trophy winner just being announced, Johnny Manziel getting that award. We welcome our own Heisman hopeful, Taj Boyd, courtside. Good to have you with us.
Appreciate you having me up here, man.
We're seeing a good ball game from your Clemson Tigers.
Man, this is a great game. I think we'll get a chance to pull this one out. So, man, very proud of the way they're competing right now.
Johnny Manziel wins the Heisman tonight. What were your thoughts on that vote?
Man, I would have been disappointed if he didn't. Had an outstanding season. Got a chance to talk to him a little bit. Great character, really humble, man, and just a great player overall. So congratulations to him, definitely.
Taj, you know that begs the question, what everyone here wants to know. At halftime, we heard the crowd at Littlejohn chanting, "1 more year." Where do you stand on that decision right now?
It's a process right now. Right now, I'm just trying to focus on the bowl game as much as possible. But I did submit my paperwork. I should get that back pretty shortly, and it'll be something that I sit down with my parents and coaches and talk about.
Whistle on the play. It's going to be a foul on Clemson.
Taj, as you watched Johnny Manziel play this year,
right,
what did you see in his game that you liked?
Just the passion. Very athletic, very talented, but none of that works without the passion and just the will and win to go out and perform as best possible. So, I mean, never really seen a guy like that compete like that, especially as a true freshman. I know Sammy was similar, but he just had a terrific year. So I was proud of the way he competed.
Lyons goes behind the back to Jarrett. Jarrett muscles his way in and loses control. The senior Hill on the baseline. Blocked away by Booker.
Well, I'll tell you.
No, comment. Go ahead. Comment on it.
I don't know, man. It's kind of biased these days over here, man.
I tell you what I like about Arizona's offense, though, the last 90 seconds. They have hammered that ball around the rim. Sean Miller knows, on the road, tough environment, close ball game. You don't settle for a jack. You get that ball around the rim and at least get yourself to the strike.
And you talk about college football's ultimate award, the Heisman. Solomon Hill, a nominee for college basketball's ultimate award, the Wooden Award, but he's been relatively quiet tonight, held in check, Jimmy, by this Clemson defense.
Well, he has. Solomon Hill's not a guy who's just going to always go get his own. No, he trusts the offense as an upperclassman. And clean shots are just very difficult to get in this game.
It's a 1-point Arizona lead, 36-35. Did you play any basketball growing up, Taj?
I did. Played them until about the 9th grade. This is about the time everybody started to dunk, and I just was terrible at it after a while. So big up to these guys out here, definitely.
Filer misses in the lane. Cats come away with it. Here's Johnson from distance. Too hard. Hill, the offensive board.
I'm telling you, Solomon Hill fixes the problems. He's setting screens. He's getting extra possessions.
Here's Jarrett. 2-pointer, no good. It goes out of bounds to the Tigers.
Well, if you can't play through contact in this game, you can't play.
Oh, yeah.
If you can't play through contact in your game, you can't play either. And well, what a season, Taj Boyd, you had this year. High completion percentage, big numbers, passing and rushing. What's your strength as a player?
I think I present pretty good leadership qualities. It's just something that kind of came as my career has grown as a player, and just something that, you know, my biggest thing is just making sure that everybody else is happy. You know, my most favorite games are the ones where, you know, I may throw 6, 7 touchdowns, but it's all to different receivers. That's my most joyous moment. So just love to see everybody get a chance to go out there and ball out.
Point guard mentality, taking the snap.
Lions off the mark. Tigers have a chance to take the lead, and if they do, they're going to blow the roof off Little John.
It's going to get rocking in here.
The senior Booker whistled Tarczewski to foul, and now they're going chest to chest.
There we go. It's good. Hey, it's getting live out there. Woo.
Tarczewski has a mean streak in him that I love. But how competitive can you be without losing your discipline is the lesson right now for this young guy. What I like about Booker is he didn't pass too quickly. He made Tarczewski prove that you can handle me defensively.
Taj Booker's got those big soft hands. You might think about trying to recruit him to play tight end for you.
I talked to him about it honestly before. One of my really good friends, and man, just love the way he plays the game. So just hope these guys just have a great season this year. I think it's going to be special. Got a very young team, but Booker's a strong leader, a solid player, and man, it's going to be fun watching him.
Let's go, Booker!
Here's Booker, top of the key.
Well, I tell you what, I go right back to Booker and see if Tarczewski has his emotions in check. He might get a foul if you trust 31 to get a touch.
Rod Hall.
Oh, yeah.
Little John, big noise. The Tigers have their first lead of the game, 37-36.
And Rod Hall is having a better second half, a little bit more under control. Remember in the first half I said at times he was going too fast as a passer and as an attack the rim guard. This time he gets himself under control. And that is so important for the guy with the basketball.
With 12:52 to go, you're the good luck charm right now for the Clemson Tigers. They lead by 1. Taj Boyd, thanks for stopping by. Good luck next year if and when you come back, or if you decide to chase your professional dreams.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate it.
Pleasure having me up here, man. It was fun.
Absolutely.
Taj Boyd, and if he comes back next year, we might be talking about him this time of year next year in New York with the Heisman Trophy.
Easy to see how that young man is a leader. Clemson just continues to throw punches. And it's gotten into Arizona a little bit. I talked about this as a perception opportunity for Arizona and the Pac-12. That league's been knocked around this year. Their best win is at UNLV, but they've had a lot of other opportunities that the league has missed. Arizona is the best team, I think, in the Pac-12, and Clemson will probably finish somewhere in the middle of the ACC.
McDaniel wanted to bring the house down himself.
That's a flagrant one, absolutely.
And all 3 referees converge on the players wanting to stay out in front of any potential extracurriculars.
Well, when you wrap the guy up from behind, that's what gets you in trouble. I mean, the right arm is trying to make a play on the ball, but the left arm grabs from behind and the right arm with a takedown. When Arizona has lost their composure the last 2 minutes in this building.
McDaniel's a 71% free throw shooter this season, knocks down his first attempt of the night. And Perrin, who committed that foul, flagrant 1, will go to the bench. Jimmy, what has Clemson done so well from about the midway point of the first half until now to take the lead?
Well, they continue to stay in a stance and fight their tails off, and they've done a much better job of banging on the boards. Their offense has a little bit more balance to it. And right now, if you're Arizona, Lyons as a senior and Solomon Hill as a senior on that floor, they need to settle this ball game down on the offensive end for sure.
There's number 35 in white, Landry Noko, giving Brad Brownell a little extra size against these long Arizona players.
See, they take Lyons off of Hall because Lyons, again, he gives up straight line drives too easily.
Filer slipped, turned it over, loose ball. Tigers get it back.
Yeah, first guy on the floor is always what you look for. That's the message that you want to send.
And a good whistle by Les Jones.
Yeah, they got to clean it up. When that ball gets loose, Arizona and Clemson both getting down on the floor. And you're right, good eyes by Les Jones to see, stop the action, get on top of it.
Something of note now, I realize there's 12:25 left. I realize there's a lot of basketball left to play, but Brad Brownell's club, 15-1 when holding opponents to 50 points or less. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that tonight, Jimmy, but it's something that just the fact that we're discussing it gives them a puncher's chance.
No, I agree. And Clemson's three-point defense has been exactly what they've always done. Only Purdue has shot over 30% from three against Clemson. They arrive and you are dead on the catch for the most part.
Good one here, good one coming up immediately following our game. Illinois at Gonzaga.
Hall's got to go.
Hall knocks down a three.
Not his strength. His first one of the year. How about that for not being his strength? Solomon Hill needs to be the guy.
He went strong, and they'll call the foul on Noko.
Man, you go to your experienced guy on the box when the building's in an uproar. Rod Hall hasn't made a three all year. Shot clock winding down, bam! Sometimes it's the size of your heart that matters most.
Largest lead of the game for the Clemson Tigers over the 8th-ranked undefeated Arizona Wildcats, 42-36, 11:53 to go. Let's take a look at tonight's Wendy's Wooden Watch. And Solomon Hill, who's struggled from the field, though, with 6 offensive rebounds.
Well, and he has to continue to be aggressive. And I like what Sean Miller has done with him in the last 2 or 3 minutes, running him to the block and letting his quickness try to take over. And that quickness on the block has got him to the free throw stripe right now.
And if he has the season that the Wildcats are anticipating and the Wildcats have the season that their fans are hoping for, he might go down as one of the all-time greats for Arizona. Tied for 10th all-time in starts with Steve Kerr and Reggie Geary after tonight's start.
Rich, remember, Arizona came in making 9 three-point shots per game, shooting 42% as a team. And what has Clemson done to that part of the floor tonight? Arizona only 4 made threes, shooting 28%. And Clemson was not. They were not a good three-point defensive club last year, but dead on the catch is their motto right now on that three-point line. And Arizona's getting stuck.
2 free throws make it a 4-point lead for Clemson. They get it inside to Booker, and they'll whistle Tarczewski for the foul.
I just think the experience of Booker inside is too much for Tarczewski to handle defensively right now.
That's 2 on the freshman Tarczewski.
It's a very simple duck in. Tarczewski not out in front of the play and got his legs taken out.
Jimmy, I go back to your one-on-one, which was 2-on-2. Right now, Booker's getting the best of the freshman.
And you know what? Clemson's doing this run right now without Milton Jennings.
A.J. McDaniel cradles it high off the glass.
Isn't he good at getting that ball against his body and not allowing the hot hands of Arizona to rip?
Here's Hill. The freshman Ashley. Short on the jumper. Hill to follow and swatted away by Booker. Ashley on the floor and then off the glass. Brandon Ashley has 6, his first 2 of the second half. McDaniel guarded by Solomon Hill. McDaniels has been an energy spark for this team. Josh Smith turns it over. Lions through the Tigers. And he'll get fouled and go to the line.
You have to put Mark Lyons in a crowd in transition. He must be forced to play in a crowd.
ESPNU has college basketball doubleheader Sunday at 4. The Black Bears of Maine take on Michael Snare and the Seminoles. Then at 6, the UNLV Runnin' Rebels square off against another set of Bears, this time from Cal. Maine, Florida State at 4, UNLV California at 6, Sunday on ESPNU and also live on Watch ESPN. ESPN, the home court of college hoops.
Rich, I look at Mark Lyons out there tonight. You know, he's not a true point guard, a traditional point guard, but the kid's a battler. But the significance of your point guard play grows with the significance of the game. And does Mark Lyons, as this year goes on, will he become a guy that's happy with a 12-point, 4 assists, 1 turnover outing? Does he think that that's a good game? That will be an adjustment for him going forward.
He takes a seat on the bench. Backup point guard Jordan Mays and Nick Johnson, the guards.
Well, I get Booker inside. He's reversing the ball up top, and the advantage Booker has right now and Clemson has right now is on that low block with Tarczewski trying to check him.
Second foul whistled on Nick Johnson. Johnson really benefiting over the summer from Andre Iguodala coming back and visiting the Wildcats and giving him some advice on how to be a more well-rounded player, especially on the defensive end.
You've got 30 on the shot clock, plenty of time to get Booker a touch on the box.
And look at a hand check foul this time on Mays.
Why is Mays pressuring so hard against a kid that can't shoot? He's only made 1 3-point shot all year, Hall. He's a driver. That's what he is. And his shoulder strength will whip you, and Mays has to back off and respect it.
Now Johnson up in Rod Hall's jersey.
Don't pass so quickly. See if Tarczewski can check you.
Smith, deliberate. Left hand, no good. Chance to tie or take the lead for Arizona.
Both teams in the bonus here on out. And this has been a high contact game. Who makes free throws?
On the shot clock. Here's Hill. Into the teeth of the Tigers defense. Ashley off the window. 9 points for the freshman Brandon Ashley.
Man, back-to-back body blows that Arizona delivered to white jerseys, and neither one of them were called. And Solomon Hill, I mean, he gets deep on the drive. Bam! That's contact. I mean, that's either a block or a charge. That's not a contact that wasn't irrelevant. That was contact at the rim that has been driven home by the coordinator of officials this year to make a call. And a call should have been made.
Here comes Clemson. The game is tied at 44. Jennings checks in and knocks down a 3.
You know, they went on the run without Jennings on the floor. But when he checks in, he is a pick and pop guy. Arizona let him pick, then they let him pop.
Hill, again aggressive. And again comes up empty. Tarczewski shouldn't have put it on the floor. Loose ball, it's Arizona's possession. Arizona can tie it with the 3, and they do. Jordan Mays' first 3 of the game.
Now Rod Hall runs underneath the screen on Jordan Mays. Jordan Mays is 33% three-point shooter, a mistake you can't make in a close game.
Here's Filer, 10 points off the bench for him. Inside on Booker, and they're going to whistle Tarczewski with the foul.
Milton Jennings, 46% three-point shooter on the year. His length is going to get him vision. You better check this kid.
.722 to go from Littlejohn Coliseum, Arizona. 8th ranked, undefeated. They're in a barn burner, 47-all with Clemson. ESPN College Basketball available live anytime, anywhere on your computer, tablet, or smartphone at watchespn.com and with the Watch ESPN app. Along with Jimmy Dykes, I'm Rich Hollenberg. And Jimmy, one thing Brad Brownell preached to us before the game was his team has to have balanced scoring if they're going to compete in any game this season. Tonight, KJ McDaniels 13, Milton Jennings 10. Adonis Filer off the bench has been a spark with 10.
He doesn't have a guy capable of going for 20 points in a tough ball game, and that's what this one is. I mean, the only guy that's really been a factor off the bench plays for Clemson, Adonis Filer with 10 points. Arizona's bench has produced 5, and why has Filer been the guy? It's his willingness and his will to get inside that Arizona defense and make plays.
Devin Booker at the line. He'll shoot 1 and 1, both teams in the bonus. So they'll shoot free throws with every subsequent foul with 7:22 to go in the game.
Booker comes into tonight's ball game only taking 3 free throw attempts per game. He should be taking 6 or 7 free throw attempts per game. He's an inside guy. An inside guy should be getting about a minimum of 30% of their points on the year from that free throw stripe, and he's not even close to that number. Oh, nice slip.
Tarczewski with an easy 2.
It was an okay slip, actually, coupled with bad defense. You allow a 7-footer to get an easy rim run, you get dunked on every time.
Arizona back on top by 2.
Jennings spends a ton of time for Clemson, number 24 in white. Rich, he spends a ton of time at that free throw line area as a screener. And he'll set multiple screens, and then on the 3rd screen, he'll pop. Watch Tarczewski, boom. Jennings doesn't pick him up. Jennings is the 2nd guy involved in the play, and he's got to rotate over and put his chin in Tarczewski's chest, and he didn't do it.
Great vision by Mark Lyons. Getting the ball so quickly and in good position to score. 5 on the shot clock. Filer rises up. Short on the 3. Six minutes to go in the game. 10 on the shot clock. Parham baseline to the freshman Jarrett. Knocks down the baseline Jay.
That is who he is. He's 6'10", but he is a face-up shooter. And he did a really good job of drifting to the shot spot off of the drive.
Back up to a 4-point Wildcat lead. And they're going to whistle Lyons for the foul at half court. What's at stake? Well, Arizona came in as one of 18 undefeated teams this Saturday, Jimmy. Already we saw West Virginia upset Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
And Virginia Tech has fallen from the ranks of the unbeaten. So now there are 17, including Arizona, but they're getting everything that they can handle from these Clemson Tigers.
And the schedule was set up by Sean Miller to grow and allow his team to have some wins, learn from it, practice hard. They didn't go to one of those preseason tournaments where they play 3 days in a row and miss practice time. And after this, next Saturday, the Florida Gators come in, playing as well as anybody in college ball, and they are playing harder than anyone else in college ball every game night. So far, that's what they've been.
Lyons fouled. He'll go to the line. You know, Sean Miller loves that aggressive nature of Mark Lyons.
And Sean Miller knows that he's not going to be a, run the offense and have command over things and be a pass-first guy, and that's okay. It's his presence on the floor that is so valuable. so difficult for a kid his senior year. I look at the kid at Kansas, Elijah Johnson, to change positions and start running a club. It is not easily done. This kid's changing positions and changing uniforms all in the same year.
He leads the team in scoring. He actually leads the game in scoring with 15. The young man they call Cheeks is a hard-nosed player out of Schenectady, New York. He's actually recruited by Sean Miller when Sean was at Xavier. Knocks them both down. Game high 16 now for Lions. It's a 6-point Arizona lead, and Brad Brownell wants to talk it over. Well, it's a 9-0 Arizona run, so what's been the difference?
It's been a really good last 2 minutes for Arizona. I mean, defensively, they are really starting to apply the heat on the basketball. It doesn't matter if it's Hall or who it is. Sean Miller is starting to light up that ball and take away those passes from side to side.
Well, some of the best teams in the country highlight ESPN's doubleheader next Saturday at 8. West Virginia, who beat Virginia Tech, as we mentioned, they go for another upset against the Wolverines and their high-powered offense in the Brooklyn Hoops Winter Festival. Then at 10, a key non-conference battle when the Gators take on these Wildcats in a rematch of last season's overtime thriller. Holiday Hoops presented by Kay Jewelers. West Virginia, Michigan at 8. Florida, Arizona at 10. Next Saturday on ESPN and also live on Watch ESPN.
Well, you knew the offensive numbers were going to come down today because the brand of ball that you're going to be forced to play in this building. And I think this is a great test for Arizona. Not a good test, a great test, because you have to be able to win in multiple ways, in multiple fashions, once that NCAA tournament begins, and Arizona will be in that tournament. And can you win when you're forced to play a style that you really don't want to play? So far, Arizona has held up.
Couple of seniors, Jennings and Hill.
Well, who is your best post passer to Devin Booker? That's who needs the touch right now.
Shot clock winding down. There's 5 to shoot for the Tigers. Inside, Booker with 1 on the shot clock. Can't get it to go, but he gets his own rebound stripped away, and it's Wildcats basketball.
Got to make that shot. You absolutely have to make that shot, or at least get yourself to the free throw stripe. He just doesn't have, Booker, the natural instincts around the rim that you think a kid his age would have. Still.
Jarrett, low block. Spin move, short, and Booker rebounds. Precocious for the freshman.
Booker needs to want this ball again right now. I mean, I know he didn't finish the last time, but he's got to want the ball again and go to work.
He gets it and throws it away.
He passed it too quick. He absolutely passed it too quick.
And they're going to get Hall on the foul on Parham, and Parham will go to the line. Kevin Parham will be shooting free throws, looking to extend the Arizona lead. Right now, the 8th-ranked Cats are in a cat fight, 53-47. .355 to go from Littlejohn Coliseum. Number 8, Arizona, 53, Clemson, 47. Jimmy Dykes alongside me. Rich Hollenberg here. We've had a good one. It was an early blowout by Arizona, but Clemson clawed their way back in, took the lead briefly. Now it's a 6-point advantage for the Wildcats, who come in ranked number 8. And here's a look at the rest of the AP top 10. Anybody jump out at you that deserves to be higher or lower?
A lot of teams that I really like. Again, Gonzaga, if they prove to have a mean streak consistently, I think they're undervalued right now as the 10th best team in the country. I think they're better than that. I think Florida's better than the 6th best team in the country. And that loss by Ohio State at Duke, nothing wrong with that. They're still a team that's going to be reckoned with. But, you know, you go through that list right there. Who has that guy you can throw it to on the inside when things get tough? Duke has it in Plumlee. Indiana has it in Zealot. Gonzaga has it with Olenek and Dower. Florida has it with Young. And Kansas has it with Whitfield. Creighton has it with McDermott. And those are the teams, I'm telling you, those are the teams that are going to win their league and make a deep run in March. Can you throw it to the box and let the strength speak for itself?
There's a foul on the floor. It's going to be on Lyons. That's his 4th foul. And Milton Jennings is going to go to the line and shoot 2. Jennings knocks it down. He now has 11. Oh, there it was, 22-8 with 8:54 to go in the first half. It looked like a runaway for the undefeated Cats, but then the Tigers have stormed back to make this a ball game, and right now it stands at 7.
And now for the 8th time this season, Arizona has had a run within a ball game of outscoring their opponents by at least 12, and that's that potent offense that Arizona has and have to honest guard at all 5 spots.
Hill, baseline, struggling from the field tonight, even from close range. But Arizona gets it back, and Mark Lyons says, let's calm things down and bleed some clock. Lyons inside off the window, it's good.
Boy, he is a big shot taker and a big shot maker. Has been his entire career. And that's the presence that Sean Miller is so proud of when he talks about that kid. Just go get us a basket.
What do you do on offense if you're Clemson in the final 3 minutes?
Throw that thing inside and try to get fouled and score.
Jennings, and they're going to draw a foul, so Jennings will go back to the line.
Mark Lyons transfers to Arizona and tries to prove to the country that he's a good teammate and tries to prove that he's a point guard in the making, and he has done both of those tonight. I think he's been a really good teammate. He's been vocal, he's been an encourager. He's kind of led the toughness factor for this Arizona team. All the things that you want from your lead guard. Forget about what label you give him as he a point, as he combo. He's the lead guard for Arizona, and there he is right now, leading once again.
And Jimmy, in a single-digit game with under 3 minutes to go, if it does come down to free throws, Arizona shooting over 80% from the line as a team. Unfortunately for Clemson, shooting under 55%. Arizona handles the pressure easily. Lyons, nice look.
Yep.
Parham down low.
Pretty good look for a kid that's his first year, huh? Out there at that spot.
Back up to a double-digit advantage for the Cats. Blocked and taken away from behind by Johnson. Here's Lyons. Make it 20 points for Mark Lyons, a game high, and it's back up to a 12-point lead for Arizona.
Mark Lyons, his will to win, probably better than his skill. His will is better than his skill.
And you talk about wanting to ingratiate himself to his teammates. It looks like he's melded pretty well with them.
Well, the kid's pretty darn skilled as well, but look at this. Just a total breakdown by McDaniels on that right side, and this is what I'm talking about. This is a will basket right there. The will to get out and run and finish with the game on the line. Arizona doesn't have this lead, and probably they do not win this game a year ago because Mark Lyons was playing at Xavier. But Sean Miller brings him in and says, I trust you. I recruited you to Xavier. I know what your DNA is. I know what you're made of. And he has put that on full display tonight.
Well, Mark Lyons has been solid, if not spectacular, aggressively taking it to the hoop from the jump.
You know, he's been aggressive, but he has also controlled his speed. He has a lot of pop around the rim, but his ability to go at you and then avoid you is a really clever play by this kid, and a terrific quality that he has.
You talk about having a short memory. When you're mature like a senior, he's 23 years old. He was 0 for 7 from the field in their last game against Southern Miss.
Yeah.
Tonight, completely flipped the script. Here's another turnover. Johnson bodies and the basket. No, we're going the other way.
No, I think, no,
Did they count it?
Yeah.
Looked like Les Jones was pointing the other way, but it is going to be a three-point play attempt.
You know, at the end of this game, you go back and grade this thing. Arizona has played through contact better than Clemson. Clemson hasn't been bad at it, but Arizona has been better.
Nick Johnson, who threw that sweet leak-out pass to Mark Lyons earlier, gets the layup and the free throw. He now has 11.
Well, this is going to be a good win for Arizona and a good win for the Pac-12. You go down through there, Colorado's win against Baylor and Murray State, good wins, not great wins. Oregon has one win at UNLV, but there's been a lot of misses in the Pac-12 this year with opportunities.
Now it's the largest lead of the game for the Cats. It was tied at 47 with 8 minutes to go, and the Wildcats have dominated since. Roper short. Hill comes away with it.
Rich, it's one of those games from a perception standpoint, as the nation viewed it tonight, that Arizona couldn't afford to lose. I mean, it's not a great win. Clemson is going to be a middle-of-the-pack ACC team, but they couldn't afford to lose this game and take a real hit to their nose in terms of who are these guys and how good is Arizona really. They have answered that question tonight.
Three-pointer blocked by McDaniel. Johnson with the ball, swatted out of bounds. It'll stay Arizona basketball. So if perception is reality, Jimmy Dykes, I'll ask you this. What's the reality for Arizona going forward now next week against the Florida Gators?
They're a legit top 10 team. They have 3 or 4 future pros. They're too deep at every position. I think they defend their tail off, and they're a very potent offensive team that was checked tonight, and they did a good job of hanging in a fist fight. That's my evaluation of Arizona.
And we have a shot clock violation. I think it says something about this 8th-ranked Arizona team where one of, if not your true leader, Solomon Hill, this senior, has really struggled tonight.
Absolutely.
7 points. He's got a lot of rebounds, but he's really struggled from the field, and yet your team's up 15.
Yeah. Now, the other thing I see from Arizona, they got a bulldog as a head coach.
There's a three-pointer from Clemson. Under a minute to go. It's going to be too little, too late. Remember, in just a few minutes, Illinois and Gonzaga coming up immediately following our game.
I talked about it in the first half. The continued progress of Mark Lyons at the point guard spot and Tarczewski inside. That's what's going to drive this team to Atlanta or not getting there for the Final Four.
Arizona is going to put a bow on this one, up 12 with 41 seconds to go, as we mentioned, next week on the 15th, right before these teams break for final exams and holidays. They take on the Florida Gators at the McHale Center. It's a rematch of a game they played last year. That was a thrill. You were at that game.
That could be that game coming up next Saturday, one of the better games in non-conference this year. I mean, Florida is outstanding. Eric Murphy, for my dollar's worth, is the best four-man in college ball right now in terms of what he does. His pick and pop ability, his ability to score at the rim, all the things that Murphy's doing right now. He is a pro for Billy Donovan.
Murphy suffered a bad hip pointer in their game right before the Florida State game, and yet came off the bench still super effective against a gritty, tough Seminoles defense. Remember, that game is next Saturday. Some of the best teams in the country highlighting ESPN's doubleheader. First, it's the Mountaineers and the Wolverines from the Brooklyn Hoops Winter Festival. Then at 10, the aforementioned Gators and the Arizona Wildcats in a rematch of that overtime thriller from a year ago. That's Holiday Hoops presented by Kay Jewelers.
Rich, so many really good teams right now. I mean, we're still just, the first week of December, and there are some really good teams. And it doesn't matter if you describe them as a great team or a really good team. That doesn't matter. Who cares if we don't say that this is a great team? There are some really, really good teams, and Arizona is one of them, trust me.
So Arizona will finish with the ball in their hands, and they'll run the clock out. They took a couple of body blows from a tough Clemson Tigers team, and they answered the bell in the second half to close this out and win by 12. So again, your final score, Arizona 66, Clemson 54. For my broadcast partner, Jimmy Dykes, I'm Rich Hollenberg saying so long from Little John Coliseum in Clemson, South Carolina. Thanks for watching.